It was a spectacular finish to what is being described as the biggest and best Olympics ever held. But there was relief and pride among the Koreans that the Games were a success.
Scattered through the village of Lockerbie and for 10 miles around. Authorities now say 259 aboard the plane died. But whatever happened to this plane may have started about in here.
Trucks were seen burning in a neighborhood east of Tiananmen Square. There are continuing predictions of an attack on students and their university campuses. This young man, for some reason, decided he was going to stand in the way of the army. He was lucky he survived.
Live from the Berlin Wall on the most historic night in this wall's history. The people are here to celebrate freedom, a sinister symbol of oppression. The wall has changed dramatically tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're leaving Downing Street for the last time after 11 and a half wonderful years.
There's little doubt any number of Iranian fundamentalists would gladly kill whoever Ayatollah Khomeini tells them to, accepting without question Khomeini's ruling that the book is a blasphemous attack on Islam. The author, Salman Rushdie, should die.
You were the best executive producer I ever worked for. You also told me that I produced one of the worst moments in television. We did an interview with Gaddafi from his tent, and he refused to answer a question on Lockerbie and decided to start staring in the air at 7:09.
You didn't actually need coffee if you came in to work on the Today Show in the mornings, because Jeff was so pumped up by the time he got into the studio that he would start throwing the show around in midair. Something broke, you had to go get the guy on the phone. This was, by the way, when we were still working with telex and brick phones.
First time I worked with you was Rona Elliott in the days when NBC had music correspondents.
Good morning, Rona.
Hi, Katie. Saturday's bash took place 30 miles north of London in a normally quiet town called Nebworth.
More than 120,000 fans turned out to applaud some of the biggest names in rock history.
The most memorable thing for me was I wanted to go home, and you were not satisfied with what footage they'd given you. And you stayed there till you had every bit of footage that you needed. I learned a lot from you that day.
Well, this has been a day of incredible emotion. The world's most legendary political prisoner has been released. Nelson Mandela stepped through the gates of Victor Verster prison just outside of Cape Town.
Jim, what is the latest there on that column of tanks?
Tom, the tanks are, as you said, about a mile from the Russian Federation building. They moved in there about an hour and a half ago.
Our objectives are clear. Saddam Hussein's forces will leave Kuwait. The legitimate government of Kuwait will be restored to its rightful place. And Kuwait will once again be free.
It was all smiles, but for Yeltsin it was serious business. After 3 hours of meetings, Presidents Bush and Yeltsin announced they'd hold a couple of summits this year and signed a declaration that promised a new partnership of trust.
Jeff, I remember meeting you first in the London office when you were a young sports reporter. I know you have a fondness for Wimbledon because, of course, you met Karen, your wife, there.
It was the greatest thing a tennis player can ever achieve.
Edwin Bayron, the Filipino man who claimed he was pregnant,
I don't know if you remember back in 1992 when Bryant Gumbel interviewed Pregnant Man.
He turns out that he is not a hermaphrodite and he is not pregnant.
And do you know what? It wasn't a hoax. Since I've been in Asia, I found out he had 2 children. And here they are.
So that Pregnant Man was obviously a fake, but just to see how much you were ahead of the curve, the real thing came around just 10 years later.
Tell me how you all got together in the first place.
It was a formula of 2 bands, really. Who,
2 what?
2 bands.
I thought you said 2 buns.
No.
Yeah.
And take that, we gave them their debut on American TV. Back in 1993, I think it was.
Most people have heard of the city of Cannes because of the International Film Festival here.
I understand that you're supposed to kiss 4 times, not 2 times.
Why 4?
I don't know, but that's what someone told me yesterday. Maybe they're just using it as an excuse.
Let's go back to New York and begin the morning there with Matt Lauren.
Discovery for Velocia. Spaceships closer together. We are bringing our nations closer together.
As the rain poured down in Hong Kong and the sun set on another part of a former empire, the British remained British and kept a stiff upper lip.
To Hong Kong's continued success.
What his impact on us overseas, more than anything else, is he had a great vision. Princess Diana, he twigged on her as an international celebrity before she became an international celebrity. He caught her popularity before the public did.
The gun carriage bearing the remains of Princess Diana set off at a dead march step from her former home at Kensington Palace, precisely at 9:08. Each minute, Westminster Abbey's bell would toll.
So the question remains, where in the world is Matt Lauer?
Where am I? Please pull back and reveal one of the most amazing locations you'll ever see.
Remember, we were covering the Pope in Cuba, and he was telling me, after I'd written a script, he said, well, you know, I feel that Castro and Pope John Paul II are both revolutionaries. And I had covered the Pope for many years and felt that I knew him well, and wrote the script and didn't have that in the script. But as the morning went on, I realized Jeff is right. So on the tag, back to Matt Lauer, I said, and these two revolutionaries will meet later this morning. And then almost immediately, in the earpiece, there's Jeff. I told you so.
On the stroke of midnight, London's sky explodes in flames. Across Europe, spectacular pageantry from capital to capital and their historic landmarks. The Pope appeared just before midnight, realizing his dream of leading the church into the third millennium.
Our USS Cole sailors, our shipmates, died defending our country. We will miss them. May they rest in peace.
Concorde jet chartered by a German tour group takes off from Paris, destination New York's JFK Airport. 2 minutes later, hell breaks loose.
This goes way beyond the usual violence here on the West Bank. The Israelis are calling this a mini-war.
In these pictures that stunned the world, a Palestinian father shields his 12-year-old boy in vain.
Brian Pretke is our camera person today, and so Brian, why don't you show everybody where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at Mother Nature at her most awe-inspiring. This is Victoria Falls.
They're winning gold on the track, but the Sydney Games have not been good for the U.S. Track and Field Organization.
America strikes back.
It does now appear that United States military action against targets in Afghanistan is underway.
Chaos and panic captured by an eyewitness's cell phone moments after one blast at the Jimbaran Beach Resort. Then, 3 bombs tore through restaurants on Bali just as tourists were gathering for dinner.
This is a special edition of Today.
And we will accept no outcome but victory.
Good morning. The war with Iraq is underway.
Saddam Hussein and his sons must leave Iraq within 48 hours.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
The armed gang took over the school on the first day back to class. The school is in a region of Russia bordering Chechnya.
The roof collapsed, and the hostages made a run for it, shot at from behind. Almost every hostage was killed or wounded in the crossfire.
It's coming over, and Walsh!
With that smash hit against number 2 seed Brazil, America's dynamic duo Misty May and Kerry Walsh put it away.
And welcome to Red Square in the heart of Moscow. Now I'm going to walk up to the door, the gate of the Kremlin here in just a second. We're also going to see the Russian equivalent of the Oval Office.
Palestinian leader who for so many years seemed to be so indestructible is now returning to that embattled region for the final time for his funeral.
They stormed the compound. The first sight of the casket gave rise to a roar.
Moments after a bomb explodes, a passenger struggles to tape the carnage with a cell phone.
Ball of fire came in, and then just everyone started shouting,
"Your own safety, walk away now."
Many of those wounded in the 3 subway blasts and the bus bombing are in critical condition.
Now the Vatican is telling us that Pope John Paul II has died.
We are reporting the death of Pope John Paul II at the Vatican. He was 84 years old.
I've never seen you looking so manly, Matt.
No more kids for me, I'll tell you right now.
Suddenly, a huge noise began. They thought it was a terrorist attack.
We were just
praying and praying and praying, and the noise was getting louder and louder and louder.
This is what's left of the Princess Hotel.
Reach in and grab those handles.
Can you feel them? That's not the handle. All right, guys. All right. We'll see you at the bottom.
Hello, Wembley! This evening is about all that our mother loved in life. Her music, her dance, her charities, and her family and friends.
The Taj was one of 11 sites targeted by the terrorists. At least 172 people, including 6 Americans, were killed. Officials say it only took 3 militants to take over the 565-room hotel.
It was, he says, one of the happiest times of his life. For 10 weeks, Prince Harry, a soldier first, a prince second.
It was fantastic. It was an opportunity that I was wanting to do the whole time, and to be able to do it was, I was hugely grateful for having that opportunity.
And good evening from London. In this city for the visiting American president and his wife, this was a marathon day.
In just a few short hours, the president was able to do a diplomatic decathlon.
In front of the Bank of England tonight, fires burned. Effigies of bankers were torched.
Police have created 2 lines. They're pushing the crowd that way.
This is something special. A spectacle of fire and ice not seen in almost 200 years.
As the cloud of volcanic ash slowly spread south and southeast, more countries became no-fly zones today. No one, least of all miserable stranded passengers, imagined it would go on this long.
It was their first joint overseas royal tour. Brothers bonding across Africa, promoting each other's charities. Jeff, leaving NBC Universal, you realize your legacy, the traditions that you have set, will remain for decades, sending correspondents off to very difficult and dangerous assignments, such as this castle here in Romania, where I'm spending a week searching for Dracula. Room service sucks, otherwise we're having a very good time.
Jeff, now that I've retired, I can say what I really think about you. And what I really think about you is you're a great guy, and I've enjoyed working with you all these years.
My days at the Today Show were some of the best in my life.
It's wonderful, and it was memorable.
The guy has vision, and it's something you can't learn. It's something you can't pick up from friends. It's something you have, and I think he's had it his whole career.